Feel a Little Closer was, I want to introduce you to this surprising process to the song Feel a Little Closer, the music video, in fact, for. Well, this is the music video for Feel a Little Closer. Its significance, the song's significance is so important to me, and I know to you, because of the little thing that was COVID-19 and the pandemic. There are many challenges that we all face. We've all lost something, probably, and unfortunately someone, but that is the beauty in all of it, is the connection that it has afforded us. It has given you the opportunity to have a place, a space, and the freedom and opportunity to share grief. The thing that we all have experienced, but we've all put under that bushel basket. I'm Nathan. I'm a musician, but I'm also a mortician. And during the pandemic, I saw a lot of sadness and grief and heaviness, and I too had to put mine somewhere, because who do I take mine to? See, I ran 12 funeral home locations, and when you're at the top of, who do you take it to? Yay, 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 everything's going to be okay is what I would do and say when all this change was happening, all this loss. And so what I did was I turned to what I always knew during my time of sadness and sorrow and heaviness and heartache and overwhelm, and that was my therapy, and that was writing of songs. And Feel a Little Closer came because this is the odd part. After the restaurants had opened back up, I walked into a local bistro. It was a couple of blocks from one of the funeral homes, and I walked in to pick up my to-go order. And there was a circular table as soon as you walked in and to the left, and it was sat on around by 6 individuals. And one of them said to me, and I quote, "What are you doing here?" Well, hell, I'm trying to get my sandwich. Nice to see you too. My feelings were hurt. Really, because in that moment, I felt unappreciated. But later, realizing that I brought to them memories of sadness because of the realization that their loved one was no longer with them, because we cared for and buried their parent. They didn't mean, "What are you doing here?" in the sense of, they meant they were used to seeing me at the funeral home. And I think they were shocked. It's like seeing a baseball player. All you've seen them in is their uniform, and maybe one day you see them in a suit and tie and you might not recognize them. And maybe that was the case because I don't know. But I think that I struck a chord, but it only stopped hurting me, and I only stopped taking it personal, which those are my feelings, and you can't argue those, and you have yours. And so I'll meet you here, and so I'm glad you're here. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when I release content like this, because my works as a funeral professional inspired by my works as a musician. And Feel a Little Closer, I walked away from that, and I was like, the sacrifices that funeral professionals make, not only in the pandemic, but night and day when they choose you and yours over them and theirs, where they choose you over opening Christmas presents or you over blowing out birthday candles. It is real, and I've seen it. I've experienced it personally, secondhand, and the song came from the grief that is the weight that even a funeral professional carries. But the other side that I saw, acknowledged, in that loved one standing up from that circular table, "What are you doing here?" Like, there you are, grief. Not me, but what I reminded them of. I was just the tool that reminded them of it. There's this odd dichotomy, but you can't have a beautiful funeral celebration without a beautiful song. And I know that you can't have a beautiful song, a heartfelt song, without experiencing sadness, grief, loneliness, heartache, heaviness, weight. And that is where the perspective and the kindness and compassion comes in. And that is through suffering is victory. And I know on both sides of loss, as a funeral professional, as a human, losing loved ones, even in the funeral profession, it's real. And so Feel a Little Closer talks of specifically this profession that during the pandemic and even before, long before, and even from then to now, the lengths that they go, people individually go, so that you and yours can spend a little bit more time with those you love, so that you can feel a little closer. I wanted for this song, for the video specifically, I wanted a live feel. These videos that I've done in the past are where you go to a set and you might have a girl in the video or other cast, if you will, and multiple scenes. And I wanted this to be the stage. This video to be from a live show where the lights are moving, where the visuals are going in the background. And so we brought in a crew from Nashville, Tennessee, and they followed all day long for this behind the scenes feel of a song. And the interesting parallel for that is the lengths that the crew, that those who are on my team, that we sacrificed that particular day, even any day that there's a show, for people who traveled all over to see the show so that they could feel a little closer. The parallel of the musician singing about, inspired by the works of the mortician. There was someone that traveled in from California. They flew in. They sat outside the theater. They were first in line. So the lengths that we would go so that you and yours, that those in attendance could feel a little closer. We had 3 camera operators, wide shots, and on the stage. And I remember vividly whenever I was singing, and you could see it in the video, which we'll show in just one moment, but I thought that they were going to trip and fall. I was like, oh my gosh. He was a champ, though. He had his nice little, what you call it, your jib? Your jib, your gimbal. That's the word, the gimbal. They did a really good job, and we built this show that is seen in the music video. Build it and they will come. You begin with the end in mind, and that's what this process was, and we built it over a 4-month period. There's a really special part towards the end of slow-mo, the lights. It was a very special thing because it's easy to get in your head, especially when you're shooting a live. And there was a part that I'm not ever said where the director had come up to me, and it had been a heavy day for me. There was a lot of personal things going on. If you followed me for the past year, this was done right before all of that happened. And they wanted to get rehearsal. They wanted me to go out for sound check in my suit, in the suit that I'd be wearing, that I ultimately wear in this video. And they wanted me to capture a couple of run-throughs of the song. And I said, no. I said, no, I'm not. I don't regret that. I know in that moment it was tough on Israel and everybody for that matter, because it put a lot of pressure on them. And it put pressure on me too, just in a different way. But I had never told that story before. I didn't do it. And the outcome could have been forever altered in a poor way. It could have really negatively impacted the video. But I don't think it did. The video is amazing. It's not overkill. It's not overdone. It's what was. And this song is about the lengths that we go so that you can feel closer with those you love, those you care about, and what you believe in. I hope that this song makes you realize that there are people that love you more than anything, even total strangers, and they choose you. And I hope that you realize your value in this life. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to give it a good old like. Give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on it. What's your favorite part? Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to click the bell to be notified when I release content just like this. Share this with someone that you want to be a little closer to. Do you like videos like this? I could keep doing them. Let me know. Thanks for being here. Thanks for letting me share with you something that I'm very passionate about. Feel a little closer. Streaming everywhere.
For you and the stranger streaming.